Welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Southeast Governors Forum denies taking a position on the ongoing military operation in the region to discuss the issue at the group's meeting on Friday. Governors of Nigeria's northern states to hold a public hearing on the call for the restructuring of the country, reaffirm faith on a united Nigeria. The federal government insists Nigeria's economy is on the right track as it applauds recent NBS GDP growth reports. It raises concerns over possible flooding in more parts of Nigeria. And U.S. airstrikes kill 6 al-Shabaab fighters in Somalia.
On business news tonight, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation inaugurates 8 committees to restore 3 of the country's refineries ahead of the 2019 full capacity utilization target.
On sports news tonight, International Olympic Committee IOC awards the 2024 Olympics to Paris and the 2028 edition to Los Angeles.
And from Abuja, former workers of the defunct Nigeria Airways take to the streets of Lagos and Kano to demand payment for their entitlement 13 years after the airline's liquidation.
We begin tonight with the statement issued by the governors from the southeastern part of Nigeria, where they have refuted claims of taking a position regarding the presence of the military in the region. The governors in the statement explained that some of them, including the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State, have been outside the country. They have, however, cut short their mission for an emergency meeting on Friday, September 15th, to address all issues of security in the zone. The statement reads, "The alleged issue of condemning the youths or the military has not arisen, as the governors will have to get first-hand information on both sides so that they can take definite approach towards solving the problem." The governors are said to have made contact with the Chief of Army Staff over the clash between the military and IPOB members, while the Army Chief has volunteered to be at the meeting on Friday to discuss all issues with the governors. From all indications, there are growing concerns from all corners on the end result of Sunday's clash between the army and members of the indigenous people of Biafra. That attack has also opened up controversy between both parties.
The controversy continues to build up by the day, and gradually it is fast opening up a new chapter on security of lives and the unity of Nigeria. It all started with accusations and then counter-accusations between the Nigerian army and members of the indigenous people of Biafra over an alleged invasion on the compound of the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu.
I want you to report this accurately and stop relying on the lies of the Nigerian military.
The army claimed it's on a routine exercise, codenamed Operation Python Dance, and denied knowledge of attacking IPOB members.
Some chaps, if I will use that, who were later identified to be IPOB members, came to, block the road and said they shouldn't pass. How? And they denied them access, and it was peaceful, and they started throwing stones at them. Missiles. When I mean missiles, stones and things that are hard objects, to the extent of, injuring a soldier on his head, and then they passed out by one lady.
The group, which has since been at the forefront of agitations, disagrees with the army's claims, insisting their rights have been infringed on.
They drove from that way with their blaring sirens that woke me up from my siesta I was having in the afternoon, and they went that way to that junction. They reversed, the ammo tank reversed and came back here, wanted to come in, and my men stopped them here, and they started firing at people. Right at this very spot.
And since Sunday's show of force by the military and a revolt by the IPOB members, the dialogue has changed, with new pages opening day after day, leaving many Nigerians to wonder if indeed there would be an end to the revolt and supremacy of power.
The Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Zaki Ahmed, has confirmed an attack on mobile policemen stationed at Oyibo Junction by men suspected to be members of the indigenous people of Biafra today. The police chief explains that the IPOB members regrouped after being dispersed yesterday by the police and attacked the officers, killing a sergeant, injured 2 others before setting the police van ablaze and made away with the police rifle. The hoodlums were, however, repelled by the police and 9 persons were arrested. He is insisting that no IPOB member was killed in the clash.
Members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, without local authority, blocked the entire Aba-Port Harcourt expressway and attacked some residents. The timely response of the police restored normalcy and brought the situation under control, as I made adequate deployment to arrest the situation. The mob were dispersed with minimum force, thereby restoring law and order, at the end of which 23 IPOB members were arrested. However, the command was awakened to yet another sad incident today at about 00:10 hours, where some daredevil IPOB members regrouped and launched a surprise attack on the mobile policeman station at Oyibo Junction, killing a police sergeant identified as Sergeant Stephen Daniel, attached to 19 PMF, injuring 2 and set a patrol vehicle ablaze, as a result of which a Stalin SMG rifle belonging to the deceased sergeant was taken away by the hoodlums. They were, however, repelled by the police, where about 9 of them were arrested, bringing the total number of suspects arrested to 32. They are helping police investigation and will be due in court as soon as investigation is concluded.
In a different development in the southeast, the Imo State Police Command has arrested a 16-year-old boy suspected of being one of the members, a major supplier of arms to the gang that kidnapped and murdered the late Reverend Father Cyriacus Onunkwo. Onyedikachi Iyaka is also alleged to be involved in terrorism, armed robbery, bearing of ammunition, and trading in assorted caliber of guns and ammunition. Parading the teenage suspect alongside 2 others, the State Commissioner of Police, Chris Ezike, disclosed that 1,416 rounds of assorted live ammunition, 3 empty magazines, and bulletproof vests were recovered from him. He added that the operatives of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad arrested the suspects at Igbelu Awaka in Owerri North Local Government Area following a tip-off. 18 officers involved in the arrests of the suspect who kidnapped and murdered Reverend Father Onunkwo have also been rewarded by the police commissioner. But the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, is more concerned about the security of everyone in the state and is calling attention to an alleged involvement of some security operatives in armed robberies and kidnapping in the state. The governor claims suspected operatives of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, reportedly abducted a resident from his home in Port Harcourt. The visibly concerned governor narrated how the individual was forced to a Fidelity Bank branch, withdrew 500,000 naira, but the 3 men dressed in SARS uniforms were intercepted by men of the IGP Special Squad after a distress call from the brother of the abducted victim. This resulted in a shootout, leaving one of the suspected SARS operatives dead and a member of the IGP Squad critically injured.
These men fired the IG Squad and they retaliated and gunned down one of the SARS men. There were 3. 2 of them ran away. And when I looked at the picture, and if you watch that video clip, you see that one of these men, this man, was in that video clip. This man was in that video clip. Now, this is the signal from the IG's office regarding this crime. And what you will hear tomorrow is that no, it is not correct, that they are not men of SARS. can see that the most of the kidnapping and armed robbery that's taking place in this state is by men of SARS.
We'll bring you more on the IPOB army clash and security issues in the southeast in just a moment. In the meantime, the members of the Federal Executive Council today said the economic policies of the Buhari administration are already putting Nigeria on the right track, as evident in the growth of the GDP. The cabinet members did not only talk about the economy at the meeting, but commended the improved remittances by some government agencies, revenue generation, and recent flood warning from neighboring Niger Republic. The meeting was presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. Our correspondent, Ibrahim Adra, reports.
The meeting started at about 11 a.m., lasting about 4 hours. Among the federal ministers at the meeting was Aisha Al-Hassan of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, whose comments regarding the 2019 elections set tongue wagging across the country. The council, however, focused on the recent report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, suggesting the country has climbed out of recession. With the GDP growing in the positive direction for the first time in 5 quarters, government says a lot more needs to be done.
We realize that the growth is very, very small. It's not a growth that has impact. It is just shows us that we're in the right direction, but the growth is yet to have the kind of impact which we would like. And because we have a population growing at 3%, anything less than 3% is not likely to be impactful.
On its drive to show up revenue, the council is happy with the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, which it says has remitted money said to be the highest amount in 40 years.
So far they have done 5 billion, and the Minister of Education reported that they have an additional 3 billion that they're ready to remit, which will take this year's figure alone to 8 billion. Now, they have not increased their charges, they have not increased their fees. So the question that FEC and council members were asking is, where was all this money before? So the directive was given that we must call those who were the heads of those agencies and similar ones to account. And that's the direction that we've been given, and that's what we intend to do.
The meeting will prove for Nigeria to join the Africa Trade Insurance Agency, an A-rated regional body set to provide long-term risk guarantees. The council is also taking seriously the warning from authorities in Niger Republic on possible flooding.
The good thing is that
already the federal government is keeping an eye on its 2 observatories in Niamey and Lokoja, which it says are providing information by the minute in real time.
We are monitoring the situation. If there is any indication that there's going to be a significant rise or it's going to get to an emergency situation, we'll be able to give an early warning to NEMA, and NEMA is poised also to inform the affected states, the riparian states along the River Niger, particularly Kogi, Anambra, the Delta, down to Bayelsa and rivers.
The desire of government in this regard is to avert flooding like the Benue incidents that washed away properties and left many citizens without shelter. From the presidential villa in Abuja, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, Chief Justice of Nigeria pledges support for the federal government in its anti-corruption fight. Please stay with us.